Sometimes.
Yeah, the paintings actually are fine.
He's been
And
working
so,
in town the
Ron
past
Hall
2 weeks.
Sal,
He just now made it back out.
Christmas
He's
decoration?
put a lot of time in out there.
Is this Christmas
He did all the
decoration?
plumbing.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this.
Starry
A
night?
lot.
I wouldn't.
A lot of plumbing. Tore out all the old and put everything in new. All new pipe. Big job. Oh yeah.
Ready, Gina?
Basement crawl space.
Call the Planning and Zoning meeting to order for the December 11th, 2017 meeting. Roll call, please.
Tony Gokenbach.
Here.
Greg Scornia. Here. Mark Pleisner.
Here.
Mark Piontek.
Here.
Tom Holdmeyer.
Here.
Sandy Lucy.
Here.
John Borgman.
Here.
Chuck Watson.
Here.
Samantha Wacker. Carolyn Witt.
Here.
Sal Maniaci.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the November 13th, 2017 meeting. If you've had a chance to look those over, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion. We pass the minutes.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Moving on to item number 3, case number 17-1201, Terry and Scott Morgan. The applicant is requesting approval of a special use permit for a vacation rental dwelling located at 1423 East 3rd Street. Sal?
All right, and I apologize, it's coming up on the TV in front of you. For some reason, the projector's not hooking up. I apologize about that, but you people in the audience need something, we can get copies for you to go through it. But the special use permit is for, excuse me real quick, let me pull it up so at least on the screen for you. It's located at 1423 East 3rd Street. This is about it's 2 houses down from where East 3rd becomes 3rd Parkway. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. You can see that the surrounding properties are all completely zoned R1B. It's all single-family residential. The applicant is requesting to utilize it as a short-term lodging or vacation rental. You can see in the application they do mention bed and breakfast, vacation rental by owner, or monthly rental. So essentially, they want to. The owners, I believe, live in Lake Sherwood now and want to be able to. It's currently a rental house. Want to be able to do short-term leases if needed or if requested 30 days or less, which gets them into this category. So, you know, they mention on here that for business people needing a place to stay for short periods of time. So not typically what you'd see necessarily in the Airbnb bed and breakfast market, but the special use permit does open it up for that criteria. And so same recommendation that, you know, I had before. It's the same zoning as what was requested before. You know, these uses are low frequency. They create minimal traffic. They do not have a driveway. You can see here they have an alley in the back with a garage, but then other than that, it'd be on-street parking. But really, a short-term lodging and staff's opinion doesn't create any commercial activity that is that really disturbs the surrounding area. So we are recommending approval. So they'll obviously have to do the standard, get the occupancy inspection, sign up for business license, and the bed tax if approved. So.
Any questions or comments of Sal?
Did you hear from any of the neighbors?
I did not. I didn't get a single phone call.
Unlike
But-
previous,
Well, to be honest, before the last one, I didn't get any phone calls on that one.
they just came.
Yeah, they just came. So, but we sent out the standard letter to 185 feet and put it in the paper. So,
I'm one of the owners if you have questions. Okay. Any other questions or comments by board members? You want to come on up and introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. I'm Scott Morgan. I'm one of the owners of the little property. Like you said, I think the main issue here is my wife works at the hospital, and these people come in sometime and they say they'd like, you know, if they're at the house, they say they'd prefer to stay there than stay at a motel. It's more comfortable, so, you know, we can rent for a week for them, whatever they want. That's what we'd like to do. It's not really to make it a party house or anything like that. It's more kind of for a business kind of thing.
Is this that real small house?
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Grandma Engelman's.
It's about 580 square feet, so it's just like, right now, it's just a one-bedroom, or you could make it two.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak on this? If not, any other questions?
I would
comments?
like to move that we approve.
Second. First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
Hey,
We'll
Now,
be at the
2
council
weeks.
in
2 weeks, you have council,
January 2nd.
January 2nd.
Be at the council meeting.
So I need to be at the council meeting, January 2nd?
It'd probably be a good idea.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, case number 17-1202, Zeglin Signs relocation of an above-ground storage tank. The applicant is requesting approval of special use permit to relocate an above-ground storage tank located at 540 Bosch Brink Drive. And item number 5 goes with this also, but we'll handle those separately.
Oh, nope, 5 goes, it's a different
Oh,
property.
I'm sorry. Yep, okay.
But yes, so this is the Ziegler property on Voss Spring Drive. They have submitted building plans and a building permit for an expansion. The expansion will be to the south of the building. As you see here, where they have some storage, and if you remember, they did a boundary adjustment a couple months back to make some room here. So they've been going through these steps to get ready for an expansion. And part of that is relocating just a diesel fuel tank that they have for their own fleet of trucks. And I don't know if, John, you remember this, but it was added back when the International Fire Code was adopted. It was an amendment that was added for any above-ground fuel tank. Anything that's not buried has to be approved by a special use permit. And so, I don't know if this one, we didn't see anything in the file about an original special use permit, so I don't know if it was there long enough or it wasn't required, or if it just had slipped through. But
Yeah. They
A,
did
B,
it-
and C.
They did it without
Right.
permit.
And so, when we noticed it on the site plan, we, let them know the process, and they said they're okay with that, so they submitted, here's the zoning, just so you know, it's all M2 in the Shrine area. And then they did submit this, site plan drawn up, they did have actually the surveyor draw this up. So the existing one is this red dot that's right behind the building, and they're moving it to the, eastern side, about 15 feet away from the building, and about 53 feet away from the property line. So there's no real issue with the location of it that they're proposing. They will have to meet, and you'll see in my staff report, standard IFC standards, which I put in there, Chapter 34 of the IFC. I did talk about this with Chief, and the location itself isn't necessarily an issue, but we don't have all the information on the tank itself. Once you get to a certain size, they have to have a spillover and that type of, they have to provide that information, but in discussing this with Chief, it was something that can be reviewed as part of the building permit for the building itself. So we think we can go forward with the special use permit and recommend approval of the relocation, and then once they actually submit the plans, the engineered and sealed drawings, we can make sure it matches Chapter 34. So we do recommend approval with those 2 conditions.
Questions, comments?
The bollards that they want to put around that, is there a spec on how far, how tall, and all that kind of stuff that needs to meet
I'm not sure if
fire code again and stuff too, or?
I'm not sure if it's specified in the fire code, but they do have to be approved by John McCreary, our building official, to make sure that they, be able to protect the tank.
It's by reference in the fire code
Is
for
it?
any,
Okay.
yeah, it references back to NFPA in the, for the size containment and the ballards and everything, how that all has to be placed, so, yeah.
And I think when we originally went through the site plan with him, we had asked to take a picture of the sticker on the tank, so we had all this information, and then it was submitted, it didn't have it, rather than move him to a different agenda, Chief's, discussing with Chief, we said we really can determine the specifics as part of the building permit, as long as the relocation itself is approved, we can move forward with this, so.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Anyone in the audience that would like to speak? I'll entertain a motion if there's no further discussion.
Motion to approve.
No, second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Item number 5, case number 17-1203, City of Washington special use permit. The applicant is requesting a special use permit for a transfer station in an M2 industrial zoning district. Sal?
Yes, and I'm actually going to let Andrea take the reins on this one. She has been working with the Strickoffs and with the engineering department, obviously, to talk about getting this transfer station approved as part of our new zoning code in March. This is something that wasn't there originally. A trash transfer station does have to be approved by special use permit, which makes sense because a third party came in. We would make sure it'd be something we would need to review. But since it is operated by the city on leased property, we just want to go through the normal process. So I'll let Andrea go through, and I apologize, Andrea, that I don't have it up on the screen in front of you, but do you have your,
All right.
your
I can-
plans? All right, if you describe it, I'll make sure I got it on the screen so they can see.
All right, how about that one?
All right, there we go.
All right. So this is just an idea of a proposed transfer station location. The red X indicates where we would like to put it. The landfill is directly north of that X that you see on the drawing. The dashed green area around that X is 9.7 acres. The city is currently under contract with the Struckoff family to purchase this property and sometime in the future construct a transfer station. Part of the permitting process and moving forward with actually getting the permit approved from DNR is that we have to actually, like Sal mentioned, have the correct zoning. And so to prove that we do have the correct zoning, we're here tonight in front of you to make sure, or to ask if this is something that we could move forward with. So in essence, right now we've got a landfill operation where we tend to have issues with wind that we've had the last couple days that makes us chase litter around quite frequently. This is a building, it'll be maybe 50-foot tall. It'll be enclosed on 3 sides. Semis will drive behind it. The north face of it, which will face the landfill, will have 3 large doors that people drive in, drop their waste off, and leave. Quite honestly, the use is a decent use for that area. It's surrounded by agricultural areas. It seems like a good use and really the best location we have to place a transfer station in the city. So, any questions?
It's going to go from agricultural to industrial, or?
It's currently industrial.
Correct. It's currently M2.
And it's going to go to what?
M2 with a special use permit to operate a transfer station.
Yeah, the zoning itself won't change.
We're not changing the zoning,
No.
but we're just asking for a special use.
Correct.
You are correct.
Just for the transfer, yeah.
We took a look at one in Fenton a couple of years ago, and it really was surprisingly clean. I mean, you'd think there'd be a lot more trash around it, and there really wasn't.
Right.
One question I have is, looks like that property also goes out into the unincorporated area?
Correct. We would do
So-
an annexation at that point in time also.
Is that what you, okay.
Yep.
That's what I was wondering.
You
So,
got it.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
Do you have a proposed, I remember dealing with the landfill
Yeah.
with some very interesting things over the years. When you're looking at, I know you're getting ready, but I don't remember if there was a date on when they thought they would have it full, finished.
It could be as soon as within the year. We're considering options right now, so
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Any other questions, comments?
Oh, and you don't have any hanging on issues, because there was some, at one time, there was, they were giving us trouble about how we handled.
Oh, absolutely. I know
All of
exactly what
that's-
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, I
We
can't
had
remember exactly
we had
what I-
issues with litter and, yeah,
Yes.
how
Yes, and
tall
they
we
would
filled
come
it and, yeah.
inspect, and it was always after
Exactly.
a major monsoon, and
A couple different things have occurred. We're trying to maintain that better, trying to operate it better, obviously. That's always been a goal of the cities, to make sure that gets done correctly. But also, in that same time frame, when we were getting those NOVs, I think there were a lot of other landfills throughout the state that were complaining to DNR also. And so DNR actually, a couple of years ago, set up a day or probably a week where they took all their inspectors and they visited Champ landfill, which is just a massive landfill up in St. Charles or that area. And they took them, I think, to Springfield or to another landfill in the state. And they got all their inspectors set up on the exact same idea of, when you see this is how you rate it. This is
They were
how
all
you
on the same
determine
page.
if they're meeting DNR requirements or not, because it seemed to be very true that at that time, DNR
It was a
inspectors were.
subjective thing.
It was,
yeah.
that's a perfect way to put it. It was very subjective. Yes, exactly. And so I think that was helpful also. We saw an increase in our ability to understand where DNR was coming from when they were telling us things. So it was good I think it was good statewide.
Good, good. I just didn't want any of that hanging over us.
Right.
Sal, I guess all the fire protection requirements will be addressed in the building plan?
Yes, during the site plan process.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
The proposed wastewater line and stuff like that, I mean, does that go down to a tank and just collect there, or?
We're proposing to pump it out, yeah. Whether it be a weekly schedule, we're looking at a 1,200-plus gallon tank possibly. So it'll be sized and.
Right. But it's basically a tank that you're going to be
pumping out, correct.
pumping out on a base, okay.
Any other questions, comments? Thanks.
Absolutely, thank you. Appreciate your time.
John, you want to speak?
You were in good hands.
If there's no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
All right.
Anything else, Sal?
Just real briefly, because we do have, this is a quick meeting, quickest one in a while. And I know, Tom, we've talked about this in the past, but something that came up. We are going through our comprehensive plan as part of our capital improvement sales tax, just kind of cross-referencing some projects and what's listed in the comp plan. And there was something in there I actually wasn't aware of, that one of the objectives at the end of the comp plan was to get a subcommittee together to review it annually. We were already planning on doing a 5-year, because the goal is to have a new comp plan done every 10 years. That's what we've done historically. And 2018 is our halfway point. So we already plan on doing a kind of report card, but as we're approaching this new year, I am going to be getting a subcommittee together, and then we'll look at a report card that will, do a report here at Planning and Zoning, and then to City Council. We could always, a 5-year point is not a bad time if we want to make some amendments to the comp plan as well. We can always do so. So I thought I'd just give you a heads up.
Only A's and B's. We want to feel good about it.
Right, okay.
Vote.
Well, I'll grade it on a curve. But I
Sounds
think
good.
we'll start doing it. We were planning on doing the 5-year, but just to keep in compliance with the plan, we'll probably do an annual report from here on out. So,
Okay.
Good. Just one more thing, right?
right.
Great. Any further discussion? I'll entertain one last motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
First and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Happy
New Year.
Right.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
See you in January.
Guess we could say
Here, but
Merry
with-
Christmas now that we're not on the record anymore.
Right.
Got all your shopping done right now.
Are you gonna file?
John, did you guys have to use this during?